Most people would do everything in their power to avoid spending the night in jail. Jean Béliveau, on the other hand, considered it a welcome stop. After all, when you're trying to walk around the entire world on foot, you take shelter wherever you can find it. For more than a decade, Béliveau trekked across continents, sleeping in tents, on strangers' couches, and occasionally inside a jail cell granted not for a crime but out of necessity. His journey took him through dozens of countries and countless communities. It was a mission driven by determination, curiosity, and a desire to explore the world one step at a time. But on one particular morning, Béliveau found himself in a bind. After spending the night at a local police station with permission from the chief, he woke to find the chief missing. The officers on duty didn't believe his story. The idea that someone would willingly walk across the world seemed more like a convenient excuse than a genuine pursuit. After all, who chooses a life of walking across countries, continents, borders day in, day out? As it turns out, while very few people will ever undertake such an extreme endeavor, what Béliveau was doing held a kind of truth that science continues to affirm. Walking, something we often dismiss as mundane, is one of the most powerful and transformative habits we can adopt for our health, happiness, and longevity. The benefits of walking start small. A gentle stroll around the neighborhood may not feel like much, but inside your body, it sets off a cascade of changes. Your muscles stretch and contract, pulling oxygen deeper into your lungs and circulating blood through your limbs. Your brain responds to producing endorphins that lift your mood and calming the waves of stress that often cloud your thoughts. In that short time outside, your mind becomes clearer and your body lighter. Over days and weeks, these short walks begin to accumulate. Your legs grow stronger and your stride becomes more confident. Your cardiovascular system starts working more efficiently. The heart, that tireless muscle, begins to pump blood with less strain, while your blood vessels adapt and expand to meet the increased demand for oxygen. Slowly, without any dramatic workout or intense regimen, your body starts to transform. There's something subtle yet powerful about how walking remolds us. Because it doesn't just make us fitter, it strengthens us in ways that ripple through nearly every aspect of our health. Blood pressure begins to decline. The risk of heart attacks and strokes starts to fall. Your joints, often stiff from long days spent sitting, regain their range of motion. Even your bones become stronger. The simple act of supporting your body's weight during a walk stimulates them to absorb more calcium and minerals, helping to slow the gradual weakening that so often comes with aging. And it goes deeper than the physical. Walking has a profound impact on our emotional and mental well-being. In a world that feels increasingly overwhelming, where information, obligations, and stress come at us from every direction, walking offers something almost sacred: space. Space to breathe, to think, to process. When we walk, especially outside, we momentarily untether ourselves from screens and distractions. Our thoughts unfold more naturally. The rhythm of our steps seems to synchronize with the rhythm of our minds. It becomes easier to untangle worries, to soften anxiety, and to feel a little more in control. What's remarkable is how accessible this is. Walking doesn't require fancy equipment or special training. It asks only that you move at your own pace, on your own terms. Whether it's a quiet path through nature or a sidewalk along a bustling street, the benefits begin the moment you begin to move. Contrary to what many believe, you don't need to chase 10,000 steps a day to see results. That number, while popularized by fitness trackers, isn't a scientific rule. In reality, every additional step counts. Even a few thousand steps more than your usual routine can dramatically lower your risk of chronic disease and improve your quality of life. And those steps don't have to be taken all at once. They can be sprinkled throughout your day in a walk to the store, a stroll after dinner, or a lap around the block during a phone call. But how easy it is to walk often depends on where you live. In cities and towns built around cars, walking can feel like an afterthought. The distance between homes, shops, schools, and parks is often too great. Sidewalks may be narrow, broken, or non-existent. Crosswalks are few and far between. In many neighborhoods, walking doesn't feel safe, let alone enjoyable. And so people drive everywhere, even for errands that in a better designed environment might take just minutes on foot. Contrast this with walkable communities, where daily life is designed at a human scale. In these places, people can walk to the grocery store, to their friend's house, to a park or cafe. And when people walk more, they tend to be healthier, not just physically, but socially and emotionally too. Walkable neighborhoods bring people into more frequent contact with one another. You pass familiar faces, you say hello, you feel part of something. In fact, research shows that seniors living in highly walkable areas report less loneliness and greater life satisfaction than those in more car dependent areas. Creating these kinds of places doesn't require massive infrastructure overhauls. Sometimes it's the small things that make a big difference: painting a crosswalk, extending a curb, adding a bench beneath a tree. In one small town in Vermont, simple efforts like these made their downtown more walkable and welcoming. In larger cities like Vancouver, entire streets have been reimagined. The Comox Helmkin Greenway, for instance, transformed the 2-kilometer roadway into a corridor for pedestrians and cyclists, and the impact was immediate. People who lived nearby walked more, drove less, and even reduced their personal greenhouse gas emissions. These stories show that walking is not just a personal act, it's also a social and environmental one. When we walk more, and when we make it easier for others to walk, we contribute to cleaner air, quieter streets, and more vibrant communities. We reduce our dependence on cars, cut pollution, and reconnect with our surroundings. Walking is not just good for us, it's good for the world around us. And still, one of its greatest strengths is how profoundly personal it can be. For some, walking is a form of meditation, a way to settle the mind. For others, it's a way to connect with nature or with a friend. For some, it's a moment of solitude, a way to clear the head after a long day. And for others, it's the only form of movement their body currently allows. Jean Béliveau eventually continued on from that police station. The guards let him go once they realized he truly was a man walking the world. Over time, he completed his journey, having walked more than 75,000 kilometers. It's a number that's hard to fathom. But the truth is, you don't need to walk across the globe to change your life. You just need to walk a little more today than you did yesterday. In a world where so much feels rushed, noisy, and chaotic, walking offers something rare: the chance to slow down and move forward at the same time. Each step, no matter how small, is a quiet act of self-care, a reminder that progress doesn't have to be loud or dramatic. Sometimes the most powerful changes come not from giant leaps, but from steady, intentional steps. And perhaps that's the lesson at the heart of Béliveau's journey: not that the world is small enough to walk, but that our lives are richer when we take the time to walk through them.